Welcome to BookJuice. Whether you're working a shift, catching a breath between responsibilities, or just trying to stay sharp in a noisy world, this reflection is for you. Ever wonder why some nations stay poor, no matter how much aid they get? Or why certain companies and governments seem to thrive off global chaos? Then brace yourself. Confessions of an Economic Hitman doesn't just explain it implicates it. This is not your typical business book. It's a confession, raw, uncomfortable, and deeply necessary. John Perkins was once an economic hitman, a financial mercenary sent by corporations and government institutions under the mask of foreign aid and development. His job? Convince developing nations to accept massive loans for infrastructure projects, knowing they could never repay. Once indebted, those nations had to surrender their oil, their votes at the UN, their labor, their land. It's modern-day empire building. But instead of tanks and guns, they use spreadsheets, contracts, and suits. You ever look at how some companies always end up with the rebuild contracts after war? Or wonder how billion-dollar projects fail? But the country ends up in debt anyway? That's not incompetence, that's design. And here's where the book gets deep. Perkins isn't writing from theory. He was inside the system, groomed, paid, and protected by it. But guilt eventually caught up. And this book? It's him trying to make peace by exposing the machine. There's a line that sticks. Economic hitmen are highly paid professionals who cheat countries around the globe out of trillions of dollars. And it forces you to ask, what is success really built on? We celebrate GDP growth, but who's actually benefiting? We praise globalization, but at what cost? And are we so used to corruption that we just call it capitalism? Now, don't get it twisted. This isn't an anti-business rant. It's a call for conscious business. Because the truth is, we're all participating in some system. But if we're not aware, we'll end up playing roles we don't even believe in. This book shows how the world economy isn't just unfair, it's engineered that way. From oil-rich nations in the Middle East to rainforests in Latin America, countries have been trapped in a cycle of debt and dependence. And the kicker? The same strategies used globally are echoed locally. High-interest debt, predatory contracts, false promises of growth. Sound familiar? But here's the shift. When you wake up to it, you gain power. You stop idolizing the wrong people. You stop blaming the wrong systems, and you start asking better questions. Not just how do I make money, but what am I funding? What am I complicit in? And how do I build wealth with integrity? Sometimes the most dangerous people aren't the ones who break the rules. They're the ones who enforce a broken system without ever questioning it. And yes, we say it out loud because it matters. So let me ask you, what system have you been participating in without question? And what would change if you stopped playing by rules that were never made for your freedom? Let's talk about it in the comments. Because whether you're at work, on the train, or just catching your breath between goals, you deserve truth, clarity, and real power. Grab the book and start seeing the world for what it is. This is BookJuice. Short reflections, deep impact.